this is Lisalee and welcome to my channel. So today's pick a card reading, this is future Lisa. I came back to re-record the intro because something so awesome and interesting and great happened like during the reading that's kind of changed the rules of the game a little bit. This is a pick a card reading. I will be leaving the timestamps below, but what ended up happening with the reading was your next love story, and that's the topic of this reading. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, these are all connected. There was a lot of bleed over, and there's so much bleed over, like the same cards coming out for the different piles, that it became really clear to me, like in the middle, well, early in the reading, by the time I got to part 2, that this is a full reading. This is your next love story. And so you can pick pile number 1, pile number 2, or pile number 3, because this is anything goes, right? But this is a timeless reading, and it does turn out to be a 3-act, part 1, part 2, and part 3. So that's what happened, and that's what we're doing. And I hope if you found this and I'm coming back after the reading to record this, but I hope that when you find this and if it resonates, I'm really excited for you because there's something quite beautiful here. So let's go ahead and start the reading. Okay, for those of you that chose pile number 1, the bird, before I set out to do your reading, I had to I'm very sound sensitive, and there was a truck that was backing up that was making me like want to lose my mind. So I feel like whatever it is about this person that's coming into your life, there's sort of like a chaotic urgency. And I don't know what that's about, but we're going to look into it. I'm using the movie chart, which I don't usually do. And what I'm looking for is, I intended for spirit to like channel through a character composite, like a characterization for you of who this person is. And then we're going to look at their signs, their big 3. So for the character composite, wow. That's Tower. Yeah, like there was something about this person's energy and, you know, the way that I was responding to the truck backing up that made me think that they're maybe in a bit of a Tower moment. Life might be going a little bit fast for them right now in a terrifying way. So that's not to say that when this person comes into your life, that's how they're going to be, but I'm tapping into their energy. And so like their general vibe though is like they're very strong. They're super secretly unique. And this is somebody, let me just pull these a little bit close. I'm going to pull these up. And I don't want you to look at the actors because I actually want you to pay attention to the characterization of the characters within the card. And whatever comes through to you, that's just an impression. Actually, anything that comes through for you is fine. But I'm being shown that this person is kind of standing in a little bit of a battlefield right now. There's this unknown thing that is like scary and kind of moving toward, like, they're like, I know this scary thing is gonna pop out at any moment. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. And so they're a little bit on guard, and they're facing some kind of a monster in their life. But with the Hangman here, I see somebody who is just like so... When I say secretly unique, I just mean that this is definitely a person who exudes like individualism. And I don't even think it's on purpose. Like, you know, I think that this person can't help but be like a very like genius and in their individuality. Like they're just so unique. They stand out for sure, but they also are very they're choosy with their words. They definitely have an active mind, but they're incredibly, I don't want to say thoughtful with their words, but they're going to think about what to say to you for a good long time before they say anything. And with the Tower over here, again, like there's something going on here with this person. I mean, you know, the characterization, you know, actually brought their situation into it a little bit. And so that's significant somehow. So I want to pull their big three. I want to see what signs this person is. This might be what their signs are. It could also be kind of where their transits are, sort of a thing. So I'm just going to pull 3 cards from this deck so we can get a sense of who this person. Let's see what their sun is. Sun sign is Virgo. All right. Moon sign Sagittarius, and when we're looking for that rising, I feel like it's almost like a Gemini, but I don't know. Nope, Taurus. Okay, so with the Cancer on the bottom of the deck, yeah, there's a lot of water in this person's chart, and but their big three, like, this is a really interesting combination. It's like they have such a unique sense of, like, they go out, they're actually very in tune to beauty. They're kind of, oh, I don't know how to even describe that. They orient around beauty in a very interesting way. This person, again, I don't want to say like they're uptight, because that wouldn't be a correct characterization, but they are controlled, and they're also kind of like wild at heart, but they need to feel rooted, you know. So there's this interesting dynamic here, where this person's not very quick to speak. So we're also picking a song lyric, and don't fool around with something you cherish. There is madness in love, but also reason in madness. A selfless heart is all you need to get by. So I do think that this is this person's, they're very intense, you know, they're incredibly intense. And so when they're coming towards you, there's this sense that they've been thinking about it. It's not, they're not going to come at you out of the blue. It's going to be in a super thoughtful way. The way that you'll recognize them is they're just so unique. I don't know how you would, it's like striking, right? This person's like authenticity and just the way that they're like nobody you've ever met before. Yeah, that's basically what it really feels like. They love to such a depth. I'm almost getting kind of a Scorpio feeling. You know, they love to such a depth that they overthink it. They overthink it, and they also can be overwhelmed. It's almost like when they see you, they're going to be overwhelmed with like, oh my gosh, how do I don't know if I'm ever going to see something like this again. They have a similar kind of like, they see you as being super unique, and I see someone's like heart jumping out of their chest. So that's really interesting. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Frank Sinatra. Everyone looks up to the guy behind the guy. Fly yourself to the moon of your choice. You only get one shot at life, so aim high. So there's this way in which this person kind of feels like you're the chance of a lifetime, basically. Let me just put these somewhere. So this person is got a chaotic something going on, but they're unique and they're thoughtful with their words, and when they speak, they really mean it. So let's get some tarot cards and just see the circumstances around when you meet them, or how you meet them. Page of Pentacles, Four of Wands, King of Pentacles. Interesting. So this person's established. They've sort of gotten the like stability established in life thing done. They're established in their life. They're established in their position. With the Four of Cups in reverse. They're very afraid of rejection. So are you. But beyond that, you definitely don't see this coming. You know, this is gonna kind of shock you. You're gonna be a little bit I know that you never see this kind of a thing coming, but you really don't see this coming. There's gonna be like a moment of like quiet reckoning where you're like, mother, I'm trying not to curse, but you know, like just there's something so striking about this. So it might be a wedding. You might meet this person at a wedding. With the Page of Pentacles here, I feel like they're gonna make you some kind of an offer that's very grounded. When you meet them, you know, something very they sort of want to offer you something stable. With the Four of Wands here, if you don't meet them at a wedding, I feel like this person might be like, I just hate the term twin flame because but I see it in people's readings, so I can't like deny that it kind of exists in a weird way. So this could be like a twin flame situation, and that might be like why this is so startling because it kind of has that feeling to it. Let me get some more cards here. I want to see a little bit more about how you meet. Because you either meet while they're making you some kind of a solid offer, or you meet as a result of just like this kaboom, twin flame sort of thing. Okay, the learning of rights, the lonesome gardener, and death moves amongst us. Find your night self. So let's take a look at these. So this is an interesting thing that Spirit is bringing through about this person. With the find your night self, I think this person, well, first of all, they've had a really tough time. They feel like there's a way in which they've always sort of felt like an outsider, or not even so much an outsider. They've always sort of felt very different, and they are very different. You know, they're very in tune with their higher self. But the find your night self, I almost feel like this is somebody who, like the person you are when no one is looking, the person that you are, like this is somebody who's going to let you be the person you are when no one is looking, and they're going to get to be the person that, like, it's just such a, it's like that night self, that vulnerable self. I don't know if you've ever seen anyone sleeping that you love, you know, but there's just something so like vulnerable and true about it. And so this is the kind of connection that you're making with this person. This is interesting with the death moves amongst us. There was recently a big loss in this person's life, and it's waking them up to this idea that there is some kind of a spirituality that, yeah, it's not that they didn't have a spiritual sort of balancing kind of a space to begin with, but they, there's a curiosity about all things otherworldly that came on the heels of a loss of a loved one. And so, you know, there's this way in which you both share kind of a special interest in this regard. With the lonesome gardener and the learning of rights. Oh, I love the way this is coming through, as this person has been nurturing this hope for a really long time. They've been even like taking care of it. I see this person as being someone who's like very careful with themselves. They don't let, again, this is not somebody who is impulsive. This is someone who really thinks things through, really, really plans things. And there's a way in which this person has been taking care and nurturing and allowing something to grow within themselves in relationship to you. The learning of rights, this is like, this, I'm looking at this guy in the air. I can't help it, like, be focused on that. It's funny what's coming through here. I gotta take a second with it. There's almost something that you've created like in the astral together already. So this is such a strange thing that's kind of freaking me out that's coming through, because I don't know how to like make sense of it. But when I always think like as above, you know, so below, and I always think that like when two people come together and there is a love connection, that like biology is almost an example of what happens energetically. There's a way in which you put your energy into, you know, the relationship, and they put their energy into the relationship, and you both create something that you nurture, and it either grows or somebody neglects it and sort of gets sick and dies. But like this idea that a relationship is a living sort of entity of its own. So that's kind of what's coming through, is that like there's some way on the astral plane in which there's already been work done on with this nurturing and allowing something to grow. There's this way in which something's already created between you somehow, because every time I look at this, I do not see an old connection coming back. It's possible that I'm just missing something, but it seems like there's already been a nurturing of a connection before the two of you even meet. And I think that there's been a lot of planning on the part of your guides for this meeting. With the learning of rights, it's like Spirit is saying, finally, you're ready to meet this person. You were not ready to meet this person ever before. And if there's something going on in your life right now, or that just happened in your life that was such a shake up, shake down, like, you know, Scorpio season, eclipse season, then, you know, what Spirit is really saying is like, you really just became ready to meet this person. And boy, oh boy, have your spirit guides and the universe been conspiring to bring this partnership together. And it's so manifested already in between the two of you in the ethers. You know, it's really beautiful. So I'm gonna move this over, and so that's kind of how you come together. I don't know, this doesn't tell me, you know, wedding, they could be making you an offer, whatever it is, you're not seeing this coming. No way, no hell. Yeah, this is gonna be like kind of shocking. So I want to take a look at nope, not this. I want to take a look. This is the tower moment here. You know, first of all, it's like, you know, related to their general vibe. I'm just gonna pull some cards on that, because I'm just like curious. Like, wow, I felt it. Whatever they're dealing with over here with the Strength card, man, did I feel that? So something's falling down all around them, right? And they're defending themselves, and they're exhausted with this defense. Yeah, there's a lot of conflict around them. Competition, inner conflict, a lot of inner conflict, and they're up in their head. Okay, so they're working really, really hard to sort of get themselves, they're taking action, you know, on sort of getting themselves in a better position. But the tower energy has just a lot to do with it. Like, I think that when you enter this person's life, there's probably going to be, cover your ears if you're sound sensitive. I have to just, I don't, sometimes when yeah. I'd like to have the time to like edit and get the sound down, but I have not had the time to do that. All right, here we go. So yeah, I think when you enter this person's life, or when they enter your life, unfortunately, I think there's a bit of complete and total chaos. And also Spirit is saying that like both of you have fortresses of solitude built without, like within, not without, like within there are these fortresses of solitude. And so Spirit is basically saying that like when you meet, this is going to break that wide open. Let's see, what do you see in mind? This is fascinating, because, you know, the High Priestess, what you're going to see in them is repressed. And Spirit wanted me to come through and say, like, you know, this doesn't have to be sun, moon, rise. Like, this can be shifted around any which way. These are just sort of the energies that this person is embodied, this person embodies. These are the energies this person embodies. So we're wanting specifics, and I cannot wait until somebody writes in the comment section, like, sun, moon, rising. But overall, we are dealing with energies. And this is the energies of this person. So with these cards all in reverse, like, there's this feeling when you meet them where you're like, no action is going to be taken, not a chance, not a way, not a how. And it's mainly because this person is like repressing a ton of grief, and they're also sort of feeling super unstable. And I think you know that they're in a very unstable place and that they're going through something really crazy. So you see this in them. Basically, you know, the point is, like, you see how much they're suffering. You see how unstable they feel, how, like, unmoored, how unrooted they feel. And you also see, so what do you see in them? You actually see their restraint. And it's tremendous restraint. And you see this with your intuition, which is a little bit, yeah, like, that feels a little bit dicey, but Spirit is saying you're going to be so sure about this. It's going to, like, I hear that, like, gobsmacked. You're going to feel like gobsmacked by, like, what the hell is this real, right? And so what Spirit is showing me is that, like, you know, you're going to see this person and you're going to see their restraint. You're going to see the repression of that they're carrying a lot of grief with them everywhere that they go. And you're also going to see that the facade of stability is just a facade. So you're like able to read this person, and you're able to read this person where they're at, and they're not in the greatest of spaces. So what you see in them is initially what they're struggling with, and what they see in you. And we'll get more on that. It's like, you know, like, I'm trying to stop my words from coming out of my mouth a little bit, which is weird, but it's like around this idea of, like, this new love story. It starts in a way that seems like, I think all the love stories that we consider healthy, and Spirit is almost saying, like, you know, perfect person, perfect relationship, you know, healthy relationship, like, you know, the way in which we, like, are able to, like, push purity culture and perfection into the word healthy around relationship, when everything does entail a little bit of friction. But generally speaking, when someone's going through, like, this, it's not a good time to enter into a relationship. So it surprises me that your next love story starts where, like, the opening scene is this person is in a shootout, basically. And because I'm looking at that and that, that's interesting. So what do they see in you? They see the wow. They see themselves in you in a way that is fascinating to me. So they may have never seen themselves. Oh, look at that. 10 of Swords in reverse. They know your story. They know your crappy story. This is a person who, like, knows. They know whatever it is that is, like, oh God, that horrible thing. I don't know if you tell them, or because this is in relationship to what they see in you, but, you know, in reverse, it's like they're like, I don't know how this person stood back up again. I don't know how they stood back up. How do they do it? There's this feeling where they look at you and they're going through some serious, crappy, horrendous right here. But they look at you and they're like, how the heck did that person stand up with 10 swords through their back? How the heck did they do that? And they see you as not interesting imagery is coming in. What I'm seeing is like it's a battlefield, and there's a battle going on. And this comes through in readings in a different way often, but being the person who stands in the middle of the battlefield in complete and total peace. and they have overcome something so, it's like the parkour of the soul, really. So this person, they look at you and they're like, I don't know how you just ran up a wall. I don't know how you stood up with 10 swords in your back. I don't know how you were able to withstand, like, basically they're looking at your flexibility or your adaptability, or not even adaptability. They're looking at you standing in the middle. They're, like, the tower came down around you so many times, and this person is like looking at you, and when they sort of, I think this might be like what shocks them, like this thing, whatever it is, I think this is what gets their attention so like intensely, is you have some special magical calm in the storm. It's a freedom. So they see a freedom in you, and they're also really impressed, and there's an awe around your strength, and there's an awe around whatever it is that you overcame. So I mean, that's kind of what they're seeing in you. I want to get some advice from Spirit, because I am sort of like flummoxed by this whole like, hey, you meet and it's the middle of war, you know, war zone, like love story. But the love story is, this person looks up from whatever this dark night of the soul, like couple of, I almost feel like this has been years of like trying to dodge that monster, and being like, where is it? You know, like kind of a thing. So like I want the advice from Spirit, especially because this is chaotic. This is a chaotic love story in the beginning, but it's also like, it's a recognition. So I guess whoever is finding this and this is resonating for you, their chaos doesn't intimidate you. You are a survivor. You are a survivor in my group number 1. And so so some advice from Spirit about this. Some advice from Spirit. The prayer. The stone. And the womb. And the healer. All right. Well, so I get this rush of a feeling. It's almost like a yeah, like you're gonna cry kind of a thing. This is somebody that you both prayed for each other. I'm so confused about how there is an energetic thing built between the two of you. You never even met each other. Like, what is, I'm gonna ask Spirit, you know what, we're sitting here, this is what we're doing. Because you both prayed for this, and it was something about that prayer, like, and I'm seeing Fievel, somewhere out, I don't sing. I am not one of these readers that sing because I am tone deaf, but it's like somewhere out there beneath the something sky, someone's thinking of you and loving you tonight. Fievel. I'm hearing that song in my head, and so it's almost like you both have this pure, beautiful heart kind of yearning, a prayer for the other, and it's somewhere out there beneath the sky, like the song, you're both singing that same song. So let's take a look, and I just want to see, like, what do you mean, Spirit? What do you mean this thing is kind of created already? Ooh, okay. 2 of Wands. This is coming through in a way that is far more interesting than it usually does, but there's just like this way in which you both, your method of getting things done is like maladaptive daydreaming it into being from a place that nobody sees but you, and they have a similar kind of a thing. And I don't know that the daydreaming is maladaptive, but it's just like, it's almost like in the same way that the song between you has always been sung, the daydream between you has always just been going. And it's from a place where like nobody knows that part of you. And I think no one knows the part of you that they see. and no one knows the part. Like, you see each other so clearly, so intimately, and in a place where no one's ever been, like, no one's ever seen them before, and no one's ever seen you before. It's very interesting. So insofar as the Four of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the Two of Cups in reverse, what is, like, so you've been creating this thing between the two of you energetically. That's the question. You're just, I really do feel like you're holding on to each other. Like, this feels like a past life thing, and it feels like a past life thing that happened, like, where there's this an abrupt tearing apart, abrupt breaking apart before one or the other of you departed. There's something here about you were halfway through creating something. So it's actually like left over from a previous life is what's coming through in a, why not, right? Spirit is just showing me this. So Spirit is saying, like, you never let go of each other. You were in the middle of creating this beautiful love. It had started as a friendship, like, and you're kind of, something tore you two apart. And so whatever that energetic holding on is, it's sort of, it's in this life with you both. So whatever has been created between the two of you is created between the two of you in another world, which is awesome. But advice from Spirit is basically like, you know, this thing has been growing in the dark for a long time. So much so, like, and I, you know, because we were talking about what is created between two people, and I gave the example of, like, in the same way two people can make a baby, two people that come together energetically can create and nurture something that is like that loves its own being, right? And so basically Spirit is bringing this back to the womb again. So maybe this might be somebody that you have kids with. Brushing that aside, there's also this idea here that, like, there's this dream, this hope has, like, calcified and hardened. And maybe around, like, the harsh truth of reality, like, reality is so hard, you know, the dreams, you know, it became a rock, you know, like, hope delayed makes the heart sick kind of a thing. So Spirit is saying you both have this, and this healing time, there's this, Spirit is saying, like, it's a deep thaw. And so this is not a relationship that you, like, sprint into. It's a relationship that, this does seem kind of twin flamey. It's a relationship that when you come together, you both ignite such a deep healing by way of recognition in the other. And so it's a slow burn, but your new love story is two souls torn apart in another life that have held on to each other and are encountering each other in this life at a phase where it's a dream that has died. At a phase in your life where the dream has sort of turned to, well, that's not realistic. That dream, that was just like the prayer, right? But this is the prayer being answered, and the answer starts with, like, I see this breeze of healing moving through both of you that is reawakening this soul connection, and the ice begins to melt, and as the ice melts, the healing takes place. And so you come together in healing. And that's Spirit's advice related to this pile. So pile number one, that's beautiful. I love your love story. It's a little bit, I don't think it's challenging. I just think that this is going to be a slow burn. It's going to be a slow thing. Let's just, you know, I'm going to get a card. Like, let's just, I want to see where this leads you both. And I'm going to get a card for you, and I'm going to get a card for them. Where does this lead you both? Where does this lead you both? One for you and one for them. And then together, where does it lead you together is the bottom of the deck. So some of you, it's pretty clear, I think. I think for some of you, this is kind of clear. You're going to create something with this person. It may be a baby, it may be something, but you're creating something with this person. And you already started creating it, and it's already been in creation. So that's what is together. For you, we see coherence. This person, and with the truck going by, it's like where there was a void and there was echoes, this person grounds you. And they bring, like, there's something about the match, and there's something about the way in which you kind of, like, harmonize, that that they help bring you into, like, they take what is your energy feels like just somebody with 1,000 ideas in every direction, and like just so many good interests, and like, oh my gosh, you know, and because this person sees you and you see them, like they help you in a grounding way, but they also make you feel heard. Like, this person understands you. Every word out of your mouth is coherent to this person, and there's such an appreciation there. And so that's what's that's for you. For them, conception, fertility, for them, you're a dream come true. What you're creating together is a miracle, and they want to create with you. They want to make stuff with you. They want to bring something into the world with you. So pile number 1, congratulations. Your reading is beautiful. And yeah, I love that. If that were, you know, comment whenever this happens. Put like a little note in your calendar or something, or put a link somewhere, because whenever this happens, I want to hear about it. And it's a collective reading. Collective readings, again, schools of fish. That's what it is. Kind of, we move together. I want to hear about this thing. I want to hear about like the world of people that this is the love story that's coming in for them next. So pile number 1, this is cool. I love this. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you again soon. Pile number 2, for those of you that chose the lion. So what I'm doing with these movie tarot cards is I was intending to channel a characterization based on the characters that we pull out, like a character composite of this person. So like kind of like their vibe and like overall whatever spirit wants to bring through. So let me just begin by, let's look at what's this person's overall. Justice, the Emperor, and Strength. Whoa. Okay. This is, I guess I just leave this because this is what's going on, right? The first pile had 2 of these cards, Strength and the Tower, and it had the Tower in the same place. What does that mean? Well, it means that there might be something there for you. And sort of what I said, you know, at the end of their reading was, you know, I want to hear back, like, after, you know, this stuff has happened. And so I think that there's a strong possibility that for some of you, and again, like the way that collective readings work is like we're schools of fish. We kind of swim together, like the energy kind of moves together, you know, through collective. This is how I see it. Collective isn't the right word, but it's the closest I can get to it. So your love story, this might be a continuation. And if it's a continuation, I'm going to pull some cards and find out. And I'm just going to reorganize this so that it is what it is, right? Actually, let me just get some clarification from Spirit, because I'm getting a hit. I'm getting a hit here on, this is like a part 2 and maybe not a new person, and that whoever picked pile number 1 was meant to also hear the second part to their reading. That's what, actually I'm feeling that pretty strong, but let me just like confirm. Let me get some confirmation here. Spirit, is this a yes? Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, you know, this is funny because this was the last card that came out. Yeah, right. So Spirit is saying we're not finished talking about this love story. We're not walking away from this love story yet. So if this is what you picked, jump over to pile number 1. This is your part 2. Spirit is like, this is too big for one reading, and this is how Spirit is just organizing it. I'll be future me, and I'll announce this at the beginning. So anyway, so Spirit is saying this was the last card in this deck of their reading. So Spirit is saying we really weren't done. There's a lot to unpack here. There's something really beautiful that we want to get to with this. Okay, so we're not walking. So this is pile number 2. Your reading is also pile number 1, and it's the same person, and go check it out. This is your love story. So for pile number 2, if you're, see, now we're moving over to, I'm not going to edit, it's just going to be a little chaotic. Pile number 2, a continuation of the first part of your reading. So this character composite related to your person is saying to me that they are as resilient, I think they're as resilient as you are. They come in a spirit of fairness. They're very concerned about justice. They're very concerned about overall, they just can't stand seeing injustice. Every time they see injustice, it like picks at like a wound. It's a trigger. Injustice is a trigger for this person. And so, you know, they embody this emperor energy because they have, you know, they've gotten to a point where they really do have dominion over their life, dominion over their world. They're strong, and they're fighting this battle with this invisible thing. Like, this is speaking so much almost of like the movie Alien, where, you know, this is, I think, where that's from. There's something that this person is battling that I'm going to get some cards on, because why not? This is why we're here. What is this person battling? What is that secret thing? It's like something that their reaction to it is, what is this, right? So what is this? Let me just see. Let's snoop. Oh. Okay. I know what that is. So this person has been kind of like, had this like left out in the cold, isolated. It's almost, and Spirit says it's like in relationship to failed relationships. This person has had some major like this is breakthrough, too much to handle in the way of like some family stuff, where this might even be kids, you know, with stuff that they grew up with. Let me just like let my eyes. So what is this? This is from childhood. The Six of Cups is saying, you know, is really speaking to, this is something from childhood that they're not carrying the weight of anymore, but it broke them. And so they really haven't been able to like get to this happily ever after. They haven't been able to access this happily ever after. It's been very much like blocked from them because of something that comes from childhood. So I think it's like something about themselves that they haven't wanted to face, some emotional thing that they haven't wanted to face, something that happened that has them always like feeling like an outsider, always feeling like they're just like, it's not, I hear like not invited, but that's not what I'm, yeah, Spirit is saying like not invited. I wonder what that is. So something in childhood related to not being invited has always had them feeling like they exist on the outside of abundance, on the outside of like their dreams coming true, or it's elusive, but it's kind of like a feeling that lives within them that is always, it happens for other people, but not for me. Or when these things happen for me, it's just like too much, right? And so, but it's given this person so much strength and resilience. And for some reason, Spirit is saying like, this is a real quality. Whatever all of that, you know, time, and I think this might be a little noisy, but whatever that time spent sort of trying to manage this, like, this is like shadow work. This person really contends with their shadow, and they're really strong as a result. And they've had a lot to, they've had almost no stability somehow in life. And so their stability, like where their stability comes from, is deeply, it's themselves. It's the order that they create. And there's something really profound related to justice. Okay. So let's, before I move into this, I want to get some signs. Now, this is going to be really interesting. It's almost like a test of like the psychic abilities. Because we did what's their sun, moon, and rising. And then I kind of amended it in the middle of the reading because Spirit was like, you know, and I just felt too. But, you know, so I was like, this is the energies that this person is coming in with. But so it could be like an energies that this person is coming in with. But I'm sort of curious. If this spits out the same 3 cards, I'm going to be shocked beyond measure. All right, let's do it this way. No, Aries, okay. Capricorn and Sagittarius. So this is really interesting because this is very different energy. I mean, it goes with the Emperor and Scorpio on the bottom of the deck. We're talking depths. Draconian charts. This is this person's draconian chart. What is it? It's a moon chart, actually. Yeah, this is what Spirit says. It's a moon chart. I don't really know how it works, but this person's soul. So the draconian chart, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but it's, so in the same way that you have like your sun chart, like your moon chart is a set of different signs, and it's supposed to signify your soul's kind of, what does your soul's chart look like? It's supposed to be the moon signs. The draconian chart is like what your soul chart looks like. It's also everything that you need to work on. So this is fascinating that this is coming through the way it is. Okay, let me move this over and move this here. So the I don't know enough about the draconian chart to really speak of it too much. I don't even know if I'm butchering it in what I've already said, because that's just what I know of it. But this person's soul wants to go out and like, they have a very like, get up and get it. You know what I mean? And this is a very structured way of doing things. But again, both the Aries and the Capricorn card symbolize somebody whose impulse is to be impulsive. And with the Sagittarius as well. All 3 of these cards indicate somebody who is like I'm seeing like a racetrack, and they're like bent over and they're like waiting for the horn or the shot or whatever that starts the race. This person has such an energy of like poised to launch. But with Scorpio here on the bottom of the deck, again, I do think that this person has a lot of water in their chart. You know, that came out in the first reading. But let me just look at this. Something came through and I got distracted, so I want to get it. This person is like, gunning for you is the wrong phrase, but it's like they are waiting for you to arrive. I'm so curious. Let's get a couple of cards on that. So Spirit is saying this is really, it's going to be a little different for everybody. It's a one-size-fits-all in terms of the school of fish that is this collective, but it's also, it fits everyone a little differently, you know? So Spirit saying, for some of you, this relates to like the way, like the energy that they approach you with, and their approach, how they want to be seen versus how they kind of like are, you know? So this person's coming at you like very much like, I am the ruler of my domain. You know, I'm like, I go after things that I want in a way that makes sense and is grounded. They're really attracted to you. They are really attracted to you. Look at that. So yeah, so this is either going to, you know, draconian chart is something that would be really interesting. But also this idea that like, you know, some of this is just relates to the way this person comes at you. And it's almost like they're waiting, like, are you on your mark, get set for that like go moment where they can approach you. There's a lot of buildup here. And we saw that in part 1, that there was a lot of buildup. Oh yeah. This person has to make a choice. Ooh. So with the Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck here, this person's like in this, they know how they feel. They understand how they feel. They know why they feel the way that they feel. And there's a choice to be made here. There's balance to be found around this like wounded warrior energy and family. And in the reverse, 10 of Cups in reverse, this is like, this might be that there's been such a delay on this person's ability to like find the right person to start a family with that the hope is almost dead. And this also, so that's coming through kind of, that might be why they're like, on your mark, get set, go, right? Because it's when they meet you, they're like, oh, you exist? Holy crap. Like we're gonna, and they're not wanting to screw this up. So there is this tension here. But with the 10 of Cups in reverse, you know, either they're like dealing with a really like exhausting, broke their back kind of like, but they're still rallying on, you know, pushing themselves through a difficult family situation. I'll pull some cards on that. But there's a decision to be made here related to the exhaustion and the perseverance like in relationship to whatever this unhappy family, or they haven't met the right person and they wanted this for so long and they kind of gave up on it, and so now it's a painful sore spot. Let me look at, I'm gonna take a couple of cards on that just because I want to know a little bit more. It's a little shady, right? Let me see. It's a little shady. Oh, here you are. Queen of Pentacles. Shit. I don't like the looks of it. I don't like the looks of it. For some of you, they're having like this is a Queen of Pentacles. You know, for some of you, this represents a wife. I hate to say, or a partner. So I'm a little. And with the 7 of Swords, I'm kind of worried about this 5 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. This might be why this person is in such perpetual tower. That's not for all of you. That's for some of you. Spirit is saying for some of you, it really is that whole, like, they just haven't met that person. Yeah. They have some healing to do in the way of what it means to release themselves from. There's some healing to do in the way of being able to release themselves. They feel broken, right? And they feel defeated around this and what it would mean for them to be free of whatever this is. So it's going to be something else. It's going to be something different for everybody in terms of like whether it means like they haven't found this family yet and given up on it, and that's that energy of like defeat, or not defeat. This is a perseverance. So yeah, so there's a defeat around something related to wanting a family or having a family. That's kind of a buzzkill. Let's just get some more cards. I mean, I want to see more. So Spirit, how did since this is a part 2, I'm going to just follow. I'm going to follow. Spirit, what do you mean by this person? Queen of Wands. They're so attracted to you. And it totally knocks them. Yeah. This is... So... There's this defensive energy coming through, and I'm wondering if it's me as a reader. Because I have to bring through what I gotta bring through. Like, unfortunately, that's kind of the name of the game. So that's why I think this is on the bottom of the deck, because this really looks like, with the 3 of Cups, a third-party situation. And I don't feel that off of your energy. So let's get more cards, because... that's what else are we here for, right? We're here for the reading. We're here for what Spirit wants to bring through. How do we look at this? Just let me center myself, because I don't want to bring in any kind of bias. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Spirit, why are you showing us this? This seems like a love story that talks, this seems like forbidden love, right? So Spirit, why is this forbidden love? Like, tell me more about why this is forbidden love. Like, I kind of see what it's saying, but, you know, it either feels like love that was given up on or forbidden love, and both things present kind of as a block. So I want to get some more cards on that. It is, after all, a love story. So, you know, if this is part 2, we're only halfway through it. So this person, blessed reunion. This came out. This came out in pile number 1. So this is how they feel in wherever they are right now. There's so much neglect, and especially in them being able to be authentic and being able to really like be that nighttime self, vulnerable. They just can't. Okay. The fortunate companion. I think what Spirit is saying is be this person's friend, because we're being shown the third party stuff. And I'm not sensing people being horrible, or, you know, I'm not sensing people doing it. Like, I'm not sensing you or them having some kind of an illicit affair. You know, what I'm sensing is that it's kind of a forbidden attraction, or like an attraction where they're confronted by loss when they finally sort of see that there's somebody that they can have this kind of connection with. So the fortunate companion means like you really are a friend to this person. You know, this person like needs this friendship badly. And so when you show up, and I'm really drawn to like the posture here of these two creatures. You know, it's almost like the spirit guide of this person is so aware of the fact that they have been feeling very like there's a lot of neglect here. And there's also the night self different from the day self, something that they're not presenting during the day that's like plaguing them at night. You're a fortunate companion. You know, when you come and you meet up with them, there's a way in which you make all the difference. You know, that you really help on a friend zone level. And I think that is when we ask the question of how do you meet, you know, I think you meet in this weird, difficult tower kind of a thing, but this is a blessed reunion between soulmates. You know, in the first part, you know, pile number 1, we saw that, you know, this was a past life connection. So this is a blessed reunion between soulmates. And I think that there's something beautiful here about this idea that maybe the next love story coming your way is actually, and this isn't for everybody. This certainly starts this way. So let's just toy with the idea that this is the way that the love story ends up, at least getting to, you know, what ends up being like the beginning. What if we think about your next love story as like this is a true love friendship, like best friend, kindred spirit, like fortunate companion. And Spirit is saying like so clearly, like, do not underestimate what this means. This is somebody that you loved from another life, and they loved you. So wherever you end up being now, especially with those of you that this is kind of a twin flame sort of a thing, it is a blessed reunion, that you're finally ready to come within orbit of each other, and you are a fortunate companion to them, and they're a fortunate companion to you. You both are, you know, kind of saving each other's invisible selves, kind of a thing. But this might be something that is about friendship, you know, at least at this juncture in time. At least this part of your love story is about like a beautiful friendship here. You know, a time to share really speaks of, well, it could be a number of things. Wait a minute. Spirit, what are you showing me here? I love when like a psychic impression will just kind of sneak through and I'm like, wait a minute, what was that? Spirit, I need a little more clarity on this because I'm confused as a reader. What do you got here? What do you have? Page of Swords. You're getting a message. Okay, so okay, let's pay attention. So oh, well, damn. Okay. So this has them walking away or already walked away from a very unhappy family situation. So it actually doesn't, Spirit showing me like this isn't some kind of like scandalous thing. You know, this isn't, this person's already walked away or they're in the process of walking away. And so you're sort of, by the time that, you know, how do you meet? You meet in this atmosphere of this person's having this tower moment around whatever their family situation is. With the Four of Pentacles, there's this feeling of like not enough, and the world's in reverse. You know, pile number one kind of ended on this sort of like fertility kind of a note. And when I look at the character in this card, I'm sort of seeing something related to this feeling that they're like, I don't have anything to give kind of a thing. But so here's what it is. Okay, it took me a second. You know, this person is walking away. They're in the process of walking away, and that's the Tower, and that's this destruction. And so you are a really fortunate companion at this time, coming in to be their friend. And also whatever it is that you guys are going to do a lot of sharing. There's a lot of sharing here that is like, I think that the quality of this love story is that so much of it is such a good friendship. But this person definitely feels inadequate because they haven't fully finished that. Like they finished that chapter insofar as like walking away is concerned. But I think that there's some emotional stuff that they feel inadequate here. And so when you meet them, I do think this is a slow burn. And gosh, there's something trying to come through. So just give me a second. Yeah, they don't want to lose you. That's interesting. You're coming into their life. You're entering each other's life at a time when they are not like where they feel like they're not enough and they're barely holding themselves together, you know, because they're trying to finish out the cycle. So that's when you enter the picture. And so it's still like seeming really chaotic to me, but this is the message. This is our message. So we're just going to keep on going. Because I want to come back to like, what is redeeming about this love story? Because what we're getting so far is that you guys are finally ready to come within orbit of each other. There's something so beautiful and ancient about this like love. There's a way in which they didn't think you existed. They didn't think anybody like you existed. And there's almost this unfortunate feeling around like wanting to kind of pounce, but being so poised to like make that leap. Again, poised is the word, you know, prepared to. But there's this Tower going on. So what's redeeming about this, Spirit? Because it seems like a lot of work for my pile number 1 too. Show me something that why are you showing us this right now? I mean, I guess because this is the love story as it is. But show us like where does the redemption come in? Or does it? Or literally does it come in? And I'm being told to use an Oracle deck for this. Okay. This one? Yeah. Okay. Such a heavy feeling that just kind of crept up on me. so there's this lull in the love story around this. There's something that this person has to heal from. But this becomes your best friend. And this isn't one of these, like, you have to, yeah, let it flow. Yeah, this is one of these things where there's such a spirit saying there's such a good flow with this. You come in, you know, this person's life is in chaos, and you're their really good friend. And then just being that really good friend is healing for you, and it's healing for them. And so the healing journey sort of starts around this beautiful friendship between the two of you, and it flows really well. And so Spirit's saying, like, you know, in the way that it does flow into your next love story, you know, it does. Example. Oh, wow, this is cool and interesting. Wait, let me get one more card. I want to see. I was going to say, like, I think we got these cards in a TikTok today. So the love story here is this will flow well. You know, this, like, the temple really speaks of something that is like set in stone, something that's meant to be, something that can't like screw up. And I can't help but think with the Self card here that this person is connected to you on a soul level. And again, you know, twin flame stuff can turn really toxic if you think that you aren't enough without another person, or that you're somehow incomplete without the other. But this, and we are all connected, and we're all sort of, but this idea that there are, I guess there's a really good way of putting this, and I'm just going to let Spirit sort of bring it through. When you think about, we're all stars, you know, this, like, this Big Bang. Think about the Big Bang. And think about all the particles that were closest to each other when the separation happened. When the bang broke everything apart. So Spirit is saying, like, you know, so there's this kind of twin flame, and there's just not a better word for it for me. I've seen it, you know, I've seen it in people's readings where it's almost like the part of you that was once connected to another as a whole, right? And so this person's really close to you and your soul prototype. There's a sameness, like a same soul, different dimensions kind of a feeling. So this is a holy, destined, can't be undone, you know, written into stone, Akashic records. This is a coming together that it will flow. It will naturally flow into what is being created between the two of you. And Spirit is showing me the pearl and saying it's worth it. There's a wholeness in whatever's created. Let me get some more cards. So Spirit is saying, you know, like, this reading and this love story for you is like, you're not coming in to save this person, because your life isn't, like, I'll be honest, it's not like you have everything together perfectly, you know, like what I've seen with your energy, what I'm feeling with your energy is that you've been through a lot. And so you're a wounded warrior also. And so there's this way in which it's not that you're coming in, you're not a romance rescue for this person, but you are a true soulmate, kindred spirit. I found my way home for this person, belief. And, you know, so with belief here, like, there does need to be a measure of faith, because you're entering this person's life when it's complete and total chaos. And the friendship is good. It's like a really good friendship. And that's like communication, because the communication is really, they've never met anyone like you. You've never met anyone like them. And speaking to each other is almost like an altered state of consciousness. You really do end up being this dream come true for each other. And with the divine feminine energy, like, you are this divine feminine counterpart. Doesn't matter whether you're a male or a female. That's the realization here. And I think you both come to that realization. So Spirit is saying, like, you know, just like, let it flow, let it be what it is. You don't have to fight. You know, this is already written to the stars. It's already established. You can't mess it up. And the belief part really speaks to me as, like, you both, like, gave up in believing that the other person existed, that this other person could exist for you. It's like, Yeah. You almost get a second childhood. That's what this feels like. It's almost like you get a second childhood. So pile number 2, continuation of pile number 1. Get ready to meet your closest soulmate, twin type of person. Because even though the love story isn't one of meet cute, it doesn't seem. You know, this is something that is quite remarkable. This is a homecoming for 2 souls that have been looking for each other all their lives. So pile number 2, this is your reading. Pile number 3. So for those of you that chose the wolf, let's see who this person is. At first we're just kind of looking, you know, I intended to sort of channel almost like a character composite of this person. So we could get a close look. Knight of Wands. Wow. Fiery. Wheel of Fortune. I kind of felt that. And the Death card. So this speaks to me. You know, it's interesting. Especially if some similar cards come out. But there was something surprising that happened with pile 1 and pile 2. And I will lose my cookies if it happens again, because it would be really interesting. But I am seeing this as being, you know, at least this person, their whole vibe is this is the birth cycle, the birth phase of a life and death cycle. So they're on like the rebirth, not the rebound, but they're on the rebirth. Because with this Knight of Wands and this Page of Wands, you know, the attitude here is like, I just finished the battle. I'm done. Like, I did it. There's a gained confidence, and there is this change. I mean, the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune, this person is coming in like almost like a brand new baby. They've had this conversion sort of experience somehow related to, yeah, this Knight of Wands and this Page of Wands is like rapidly growing up sort of in a certain way, or like a successfully accomplished battle. Sort of like the feeling feels like after you like win a sports game to me. Like that's kind of the feeling of these two. Is like it was a football game and it was like the most important game of the year, and like this person like the feeling is like that feeling of winning by like 3 points after the most like horrific battling it out. That's this feeling. It's like a triumph. So this person has like this triumphant kind of an energy. Their vibe is very like confident actually at this point. It's confident towards you, and they embody change. They really are in a rebirth. So let's go ahead and take a look at the energies around them in the way of like, it's either their sun, moon, rising, their draconian chart, or just kind of like the energy that they're embodying, or maybe something to do with transits. We're just going to get, so there's a Leo. I'm not surprised. This is Leo energy right here. Just right here. This is, what does it feel like to be a Leo? Like this, whatever this energy is, this is like such pure Leo energy. So this person has this like confidence, like, you know, on the other side of whatever that battle was, it has given them a tremendous confidence, Scorpio, from the depths, Taurus, and strength. Gemini in the bottom of the deck, you know, I'm seeing this be somebody who ignites for you and them. Like this is like talking all night long. I can't believe it's been 5 hours, and it is. It's a talking all night long kind of a feeling here. So the two of you are a real meeting of the minds, and whatever they just survived, whatever they just got through, whatever they just extricated themselves from, that came through very extricated. Whatever they just extricated themselves from is has given them a new lease on life. It's I'm seeing this explosion of light within them, and they come from the depths. They're coming from the Scorpio bottom of the well And it's where they're getting their grounding and they're getting their strength. So they're very rooted in all of this, like, triumphant, I'm so glad I extricated myself. I'm finally feeling what it is to be buoyant. I think this might be, yeah. So some of you, all of the piles are going to resonate, and that's okay. So anyway, this is really speaking of somebody who's is being reborn in such a good way. So how do you meet this person? Let's take a look at that. So Spirit, how does this, okay, justice. So there's something to do here with, well, let's get some more cards because I want to see that a little clearer. The Devil. Oof. And then the Eight of Cups. I'm so not surprised in sort of a way. When I say extricated themselves, you know, this, like, you meet, I gotta get more information. Spirit, give me a little bit more on this before I say what I think I see. Yeah, okay. Right. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna move the cards so you can kind of see them. Oh my goodness. I really do think that this is energy spillover from pile 1 and pile 2, and I might just have to announce that, because I would be a bad psychic if I didn't say that this energy was just persistent. And I think I'm just gonna like re-record the intro to reflect like what I'm seeing here. So what I'm seeing here is that this is a continuation of pile 1 and 2. And I guess it's a love story in 3 acts. I guess this is what we're getting. Spirit is fun. So what I'm being shown here with the Justice and the Heartbreak is and I can't help but feel like with the bottom of the deck being this 8 of Swords energy of feeling stuck and bound. What they extricated themselves from is probably something they felt, yeah. They had to use all of their resources to unbind themselves. And so so the death and rebirth here is like they've extricated themselves out of something heartbreaking. And so the Justice card is about fairness. It's also about court sometimes. Sometimes it's like legal. So it could be a divorce. And the reason I'm saying that is because when we looked at pile 1 and pile 2, that's what it felt like. The Devil and the Ace of Pentacles means like this was something that had bound this person to a degree where they were enslaved to it. And so this, you know, this is a new path for them as they walk away. They're walking away, taking, you know, control of their life, and they're walking down this new path. So how do you meet? And this could be you, actually, you know, because the energy is sort of fluid, so it could go either way. It might be that you're mirroring each other and you're leaving a situation as well. Let me get some clarity on that, actually. What about you? Where are you in all this? In love. Yeah. Ace of Wands. It's really coming through kind of clear. I think that with the Ace of Cups and the Hierophant in reverse and the World in reverse, let me get some clarity on that World in reverse. It's a passionate new beginning, and you're not going to be right. So with the Six of Cups, this really is your soulmate. You know, there's no two ways about it. We got that over and over and over again with part 1 and part 2, which is basically what this is reading, is turning into a long love story instead of just separate love stories. This collective really is calling in something special here. Really, like it's kind of amazing. So yeah, it's coming in. This is something really exciting, actually. But with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, this is this thing. I got to get more cards because I do feel this is a passionate new beginning, and I do see this as being something that happens. How do you meet? You seem to come together, you know, at the while a cycle for both of you is closing out. There's mirroring here happening. There's like no two ways about it. Both of you are finally closing out a cycle of being where you're in a relationship but single at the same time. And it's finally sort of breaking whatever that commitment was, where the relationship was there, but also was the loneliness for you, I think. I think that's for you. And for them, I do think that they might be in some variation of this. Again, energies can go back and forth, but both of you are extricating yourself. And that's why there's Knight of Page of Wands and Knight of Wands. It's like you are liberation for each other. And again, I hate this idea of a romance rescue. I really do. But now that I'm seeing it, that it seems to be for both of you. Let's get more cards. Let's get more cards. Spirit, what is... Yeah, Ace of Wands is this passionate new beginning. It's inspired, you know, it's really, really beautiful. There's a lot of attraction here. Lots of fire, lots of attraction. And it's almost like Spirit is saying you don't get to be single, but you've had your time being single. And for whoever this is resonating for, that probably just hit all the way home. Because it's true for them too. So I want to just look at, I want Spirit to bring something in the way that like will give us just some more information overall, because I want to see where this is, where is this going? We're in Act 3. So there's a rising again, there's triumph, there's change. And there's confidence in this, but the circumstances where you meet is repeating over and over again. We might as well just have left it 2 readings over, but it's repeating over and over again. The Spirit is saying, and is it lonelier at night? That's interesting. And when all seems ended, the communion of tender souls. Okay. So your next love story is a love story bottom. I didn't even like shuffle yet, but this is just on the bottom of the deck. And I'm showing it to you because I think this is a mirroring. This is a love story between 2 souls who are really beat up and destroyed by love, only to discover when they'd finally given up that their person really did exist somewhere. And so this love story is almost, there is a quality of romance rescue to it. It's just not dysfunctional. The love story is a romance rescue. It is like your heart was broken into a million pieces and you gave up and you like were maybe in a relationship where you felt single the whole time, or you were single for the whole wait, you know, there's this isolation here and this giving up and this despair, and then an extricating yourself from it, both of you doing that. And the rebirth that happens, that love story that happens between you, is you rescue each other's hearts. And that's kind of a magical thing. Like you really are almost like the same soul and totally different experiences, having like a similar time of things in so many ways. There's so much that is parallel here. So in the same way that you are still maybe at the tail end of like extricating yourself from something where you're going to end up feeling finally free in a real way. And I think for you, this has happened sooner. I think for you, this happened either a while ago but somehow this is coming around again for final release with you. And with them, they're in the midst. So, so your love story is a romance rescue. And I guess there's nothing to be ashamed of, because this is the story that's coming through. Your story is about this, you know, like that this is a question. And is it lonelier at night? And in the last reading, there was, I think it came out in both of them. Where was that card? The self that you are in the night Is it lonelier at night? The way in which your souls are kind of building something when you're sleeping. You know, there's something to that. That's why I'm seeing these two owls. They're sort of come like this homecoming that happens every single night for you while you both are sleeping. Spirit is saying, when it all seems to end, when you both end these cycles, you know, the world in reverse just kind of speaks to me of something that is like waiting to, that cycle's waiting to end. Something's waiting to be birthed. Something's growing, you know. Again, I see this creation, this energy between the two of you that's just been growing all along. And so, you know, the death card at this end is also a beginning. And the communion of tender souls, like this really is, our shadows are beautiful. You complement each other, and you both have been through the valley of death, and you're finally both coming into a place of sunshine. You're both in this, the sun is rising. Ooh, I have chills. That's like really, really powerful. So I kind of want to look at, let's see, let's just do a really fun, let's just freestyle. Like, what does Spirit want to bring through? I'm just going to be drawn to different decks, and I'm going to bring some cards through. What does Spirit want to bring through here in the way of advice? What does Spirit want to bring through in the way of advice? What does Spirit want to bring through? I can feel someone crying. So interesting. What do I want to bring through in the way of advice? Your dreams need a... And I don't mean that's just like being sensitive. It's like a beautiful feeling, actually. It's like a release. It's a relief. It's a relief. Somebody feels such a relief. Show the world the real you. I mean, like, this is the important thing. This person is your mirror. And I didn't even shuffle these yet. I'm going to shuffle them in a second. You know, this person is going to see the real you. You're going to see the real them. And there's something really precious and powerful about that. Like, more so than just like your average trait. Like, be yourself. You know, this is something monumental. This is like two people who have waited all of their lives to meet somebody who they feel seen, understood, and like, this person gets me all the way. Like, I am here. There's such an incredible, beautiful thing about, you know, I'm looking at the Aquarius here. You know, you're both a little bit funny. You know, you're both like really interesting people, and life has been hard. And so Spirit is basically saying, you know, there's something so powerful, you know, in the authenticity that you're able to both bring to the table, and that the you that you are is the perfect you for them, and the them that they are is the perfect them for you. But your dreams need a practical plan, and the energy is gaining momentum. It's really kind of talking about the fact that this is not the kind of love story that starts with like glances across the room. You know, this is the kind of love story that starts where two people kind of stumble into, like, I'm seeing a scenario, and this doesn't have to be it, but this is kind of the vibe. The feeling is giving, right? This feeling is giving. Stumble into a bar, like both sitting there, like crying into their beers, and they like look up, and then suddenly it's the person you've been waiting to meet your entire life, and every word out of their mouth is like angels singing, and vice versa. And it's not so much about love as it is about, holy shit, I've been looking for you. I'm home. We're home. Like, I found you. Like, it's almost like an action adventure, you know, where these two souls that, oh, it's just so much relief in it. It's just really, really beautiful. So, you know, your dreams need a practical plan. Like, this is not, like I said, it's like not really a meet cute. It's a meet all the way in the depths. Like, depth meets depth. Yeah, it's really powerful. I mean, I have to say, like, it's a powerful feeling. So the energy is gaining momentum, tells me that this is, you're ready for this. You're almost ready for this. You're ready for this to happen. You're ready for this encounter. This encounter is is fast approaching. And so when we see that your dreams need a practical plan, Spirit says, I want you to get really, really clear on what you want and who you are and how you want to be in the world as you approach this, because it's going to be a love story of rescuing each other's heart no matter what. But be the person that you want to be. And beyond, like, in terms of, like, you should be a good person, you know, and beyond that, I don't know why that came through. It's not like a scolding or anything like that. It's almost like Spirit is saying, this is going to be so powerful with that Ace of Wands. It's going to knock you off your shoes, knock your socks off. It's going to knock your socks off. So pace yourself with this, because that is the winning strategy, because there's such a joy at every step of this race, including the part where you discover your best friend in the whole wide world. And the part when you discover, like, the best friend. You know, I mean, obviously you have your best friend and whatnot, but I mean, just like, you're not skipping any steps and you're not rushing through anything. You're not running at this unhealed so that you can both, like, you know, fall down and hurt each other. This is really about a homecoming, and that there's a practical plan that you want to put in place related to who you want to be in response to such a powerful joining of two worlds, right? Pace yourself. That's like Spirit's like, I really want you to pace yourself. Both of you have, like, a tendency, and you're going to be, like, so excited. Yeah, Spirit's like, don't worry about it. Here's what's coming through more than anything else. It's going to feel natural at the meet, whenever you meet. It's going to feel natural. It's going to be whatever, like, somber kind of a situation that it is, because I saw that. Again, like, not two people, like, emotionally vulnerable in a way that's, like, I'm not seeing anything. I don't see anything sloppy. So you're coming at each other, like, mature and everything like that. But from points in your life where, you know, the deep, dark secret is that the heart is, like, nearly broken, right? And so, you know, Spirit is saying that every phase of this is going to feel natural in the phase that it is. You guys are going to be very comfortable at the friend zone. Both people really comfortable in the friend zone. It's going to be enriching. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be enough. Every phase is enough. There's not, like, this scrambling to get to the next phase of the relationship. Every phase is being savored. Every phase is enough. So pacing yourself won't be hard. But there's a little bit of an effort. You want to plan to pace yourself a tiny bit with this. And so let's get some more advice from Spirit. Wow. That was interesting. Let's see what that is about. That speaks to the Death card and just basically where you're both kind of... Let me get a little bit farther. Okay. This speaks to the Death card as well. Wow, okay, let me get one more. Because this speaks of... Okay, let me just keep on going and get the last one before I launch in. The Sword. All right, so we have gotten all the cards of ending, like finished. A land between worlds. I mean, let me actually, I'm going to grab the book, which sometimes I don't really do that with any other deck than this one, because this deck is amazing. So it does a better job than I do sometimes. So let me just pull this out and annoy you guys with whatever time it takes me to find where I'm going with this. Okay. 215. I'm just being I'm going to be glancing. Okay. So this is the unknown becomes known and guides the way. So this is a painful time, and it unfolds when two disparate dynamics occur simultaneously, pulling the psyche in seemingly opposite directions. The first is the lifting of the veil. This means truths that have been kept in the dark are revealed, seen, and unearthed. I really think that this recognition it comes at such a painful time for maybe both of you, but again, it seems not like a balanced, painful time for both of you. I think you went through all your crap already. Maybe I'm wrong. One of you has like been processing for so long, but it's taken that long. And the other one is like in the thick of it, is really what it feels like. And I think the truth, you know, the love that like bursts forth, like the recognition that births forth, the truth that is revealed in this meeting comes at a particularly painful time of an ending. And not just like any ending. Let me grab 213. An ending that, so like this is happening during a period of grieving and mourning and bearing witness to all that is. This is the death card for all intents and purposes. So death is an ongoing and omnipresent and eternal response to the gift of birth. Witnessing the ending of another being, creature, phase, or stage has deep consequences for the psyche. So we are forever changed. Like this is really where you're entering the scene. This is a romance rescue love story. The bardo is between two worlds, you know, and the sword, you can see like this cutting away of what was and what no longer serves, and the action of cutting it away. Like there's a very clear split, what was and what is gonna be. But this is between the world of the living and the dead. This is this liminal space between these two phases. So, you know, Spirit is saying that, like, you know, this is this liminal space. This is you're both being birthed. And I want to get more cards, actually. Let's see how I'm doing on time. Just a little bit more. You find each other in the liminal space. This is where your person finds you. This is where you find your person, in this liminal space between life and death, between closing out something that's finally ready to die and the birthing process, and the labor pains. So your love story, let me just get a couple more cards because I'm really curious here. A homecoming too. Yeah, you're coming just in time, delight, because you need this. You both really do. You like desperately need this compassion, this delight, and the confidence that is like related to this passion between the two of you. So this is a passionate love affair that, like, this is, Spirit is saying this is the birth. You know, giving birth to healing of the sacral chakra. You both gave your power away in 1,000 different ways because you felt like it was needed. It was like somehow required to create what it was somehow required of you to give all your power away, because you're both coming from a healing, major healing of the confidence, a major, you know, after a heavy battle, feeling victorious, having extricated yourself, kind of like need to like let that refueling happen. So like the passion here, the delight here, it really, this is the healing that takes place. It gives you that vitality back, that like life force back, and that sense of let me get a couple. Let me just get one more. Yeah. Something about coming together with this person, something about this union is so important. When I see this authority card, I think of earned authority, not unhealthy authority. Authority that comes from like, from knowing the lay of the land, you know, from an authority that comes because a person has earned that like knowledge and that ability to be an authority on something. With communication here, you guys are both finally ready to communicate your truth to each other. And there's so much compassion in it. And there's also just this, like, your power comes back. The lights come back on. The sun comes up. And there's passion again. So this is such a passionate new beginning, right? But you're kind of both sort of like these wounded warriors, like entering the scene here. And, you know, as a final note, what Spirit wants to bring through related to all of this is that your next love story is the healthy version of a romance rescue, and it's quite beautiful, but you're not jumping into someone's rebound moment. You're not jumping in. You're going slow, and you're taking your time, and you're savoring all of this. Because there has to be healing here. Whatever this, like, you know, this is striking me as like this almost felt like it wanted to come out in reverse. It almost felt like all of these wanted to come out in reverse. And I think it's because Spirit is saying, like, the reason that so much of this relationship and this love story, it starts from such a healing place. It starts in a place of healing, because it also starts in a place that is like, it's okay that there's a loss here. It's okay that there's some instability here, and it's okay that there is, Spirit is like wanting to point out to somebody very specifically in this moment. We're not talking about trauma bonding. Someone just feels like they've missed everything in life. That's what this Empress in reverse feels like. Everything, like their potential was stolen, right? So Spirit is actually like bringing this last little bit in to say, like, value your healing and value your healing process, and pace yourself. You're going to do it anyway, because again, that's the savoring of these phases. And you're both, and my cat is like, just like sneezed at that exact moment. So I feel like this is confirmation to just say, whatever the rush of feelings ends up being, allow there to be a very thorough healing that takes place individually, and also whatever it means to heal together. Because Spirit's saying, like, don't fool yourself. You know, you need to take this birthing process super slow, just like they do. And oh my God, I love it. Okay, well, this is coming out again too. You know, the world will open up to you, into your arms. I love it. Let's end it right here. Spirit is saying the world opens up to you through this communication between these two tender souls, into your arms. I mean, this speaks to me of like, I'm home. I made it. We're here. You're real. You exist. That took a long time. That's all the things that are coming through with this. So this is a new beginning. It's a birthing process for you both. And there's so much, I see an iceberg, and there's so much like depth with the both of you. And the communion of tender souls, like, this is how you are with each other. This is the overall like nature of the loving vibe between you. And so pile number 3 / all of you, this is your next love story. So I'm glad that we were here to do this, and I'm glad that I feel honored that I got to read for you. So I'll see you again soon, and this is beautiful. I'm excited. And when this happens, when this starts to happen, and again, it's going to happen for all of you in slightly different ways. Like, just think about the way that dimensions stack, you know, like slight altercations. You know, with collective readings, when we're talking about School of Fish, like, people are moving in the same patterns, but the dimensions are stacked, and so there's just these slight differences. So begin to not begin to. I think this is going to happen soon for you. When it happens, I want to hear about it in the comment section, because this is going to be really beautiful. So yeah, that's everything, and I hope to see you guys again soon.